How you doing? This is Arthur Turner again, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a project based on Cinco de Mayo. Now, actually, this is not going to be a traditional art project. I'm going to show y'all something that's more arts and craft related. Um, Arts and crafts, honestly, in my opinion, do serve a purpose in the arts. I mean, I know most professional artists, they'll be talking about crafts. I mean, we ain't doing no crafts. I'm a professional artist. But crafts serve a purpose and mainly creativity. I can't tell you how many times that, outside of art, I've had to make something, fix something, create something out of just everyday stuff I have laying around the house. So that's basically what you're going to do. You're going to make a maraca, for Cinco de Mayo, and you're just going to use just literally everyday stuff that's around your house. So you really not going to need anything that's too special. And I have an alternative for those of y'all that may not even have any of the stuff that I am going to ask you to have. Now, starting out, okay, to make the base of the instrument, I need you to have an egg, just a simple white egg. Okay, you're going to need two of them. You need a bowl. You're going to need, I need you to have something sharp. So, right now I have like a little toothpick. Um, you can have a little kitchen knife. You need two spoons, okay? You need two plastic spoons. You need a rubber band. It would help if you have tape. You need a pair of scissors. You're going to need paper. You're going to need napkins, okay, like kitchen napkins, okay. You will need some paper, okay, to cut, because you have to cut that up. You're going to need a bowl of rice. You need another little small thing of water. This is going to be just in case, you know. And you need some glue. And if you do not have glue, okay, you need some substance that's in your house that is sticky. I am going to use honey, okay. Now, part of this project, I am not gonna lie, I am basing this. The reason I'm using the egg is because in the martial arts, there is a few techniques from ancient times where people would use eggs, and they would use those eggs to carry things. It just makes sense to a martial artist, in ancient times, because you use what's in nature. Well, these are nature's carrying cases. Okay. Uh, God was very smart in how He designed this, because these things, can take a lot of pressure, top and bottom. It just can't take pressure on the side. That's why we always crack eggs on the side, you know. But other than that, we can use these things to carry little stuff like that, Be like ninjas and the story of the ninjas and stuff like that, where they use eggs and stuff like that to, carry little secrets and powder, explosive little powder and dust and all kinds of other stuff. I'm not gonna get into that because you don't need to know how to do that. You're not gonna be running around your house making smoke bombs and stuff. But you gotta take my class if you want to learn all that stuff. But anyway, okay, we're gonna use this egg here. Now, you will need some colors. I don't care about whether they're markers or crayons or color pencils. I mean, just use whatever you got. Matter of fact, since Easter had just transpired, you can use food coloring if you have it. Okay, you can decorate the color of the egg in and the stuff with the food coloring. Now, first thing first. Okay, to do this project, we have to hollow out this egg, because I know that's probably what you're like. How are you gonna use the egg as a carrying case? Well, we have to hollow the egg out. So you need something sharp. Now, truthfully, I'm not gonna lie to anybody here. I usually do this with one of my throwing knives. Okay, so you can use a kitchen knife, but the problem is the kitchen knife is real long, which means I would have to hold it pretty much like right here in order to make to start this little small hole. Now, because you're having to use something sharp, whether it's a kitchen knife or one of these toothpicks or whatever, I would highly recommend you go get your parents. Okay? I really think you should have your parents anyway, because this is a fun little project that you can do with your family. So you got little kids in your house. Tell them to come over there and help out. If, your mom, your dad, or whoever, your grandparent, whoever's there with you, tell them to help out. They should do this part, okay? Because this part here is a tad bit dangerous. Because you can easily cut yourself. The egg is real smooth. Obviously, if you sit here and you do this, you're going to sit here and the knife could just like slide off and, cut you. Now, again, I'm a martial artist. I've been doing this been messing with knives and stuff like that for years. Even though I am good at what I do, even I make mistakes. So you see there's a hole right there. Now, I am going to do that. I'm going to just kind of like move this around, because what I want to do is open up the yolk. I don't want it hard, I want it soft. Okay, I need to make that a little bit bigger. Okay, right there. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want the egg to crack. Personally, I don't like how I got that hole right there, but I like a clean hole, and I got like a little bit of the shell. So, okay, so I got a hole at the top. Now, I can do that, and this egg will come out. What I'm going to do to also help to relieve the pressure is I am going to make another hole directly at the bottom. So I don't want to crack it. That's what I do not want to do. That's what the pencil's for. Okay, because I want to keep the main shape. And you see how, like, once I put that hole there, okay, the rest of the egg is just going to come out. I can sit there, put that in there, scramble it on the inside. Alright, so you want to sit there and do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, because I'm going to use that for later. I'm not wasting no food, and I don't expect y'all to waste no food. Actually, what I would like y'all to do is tell your parents that you need to do this. And like when y'all making breakfast, if y'all using eggs for breakfast, have your parents show them this video, have them do what I just did, and so you can save the shell, because right now I just got an empty shell. And then go ahead and just use that and make your breakfast. I'm about to make Artie some eggs after this. Now what you're going to have to do is you're going to take this egg at this point and you're going to run it over here by your sink, and I want you to clean it out. Okay, so I decided not to show that side of it because Artie's sitting here right behind me. Because what I want to do right now is I have that egg, so I have that shape. Here we go. Now, put this up. Put that right there. It would be best if you let this dry out. Now, because I'm doing the video, I am rushing this. You can take the egg and you can put it in a toaster oven and just let the insides dry out. That would be best. But because I'm rushing this, I'm just going to go ahead and continue on with the project. Now at this point, that's where I need to tape. I'm going to tape the bottom of the egg. Let's put this here. I'm just going to go ahead and put like a little piece of cloth right there. I just want to hold it in place. Now the egg would be, technically I would sit here and I let this dry. Now while that is happening, you would take strips of paper, you would cut it, okay, and then of course I'm going to use real red, white, and green, at least for this. Now y'all can use whatever colors you want. You're going to create patterns, okay, random shapes and patterns, and then you're going to cut them up, okay. You will cut them into small squares. Those small squares you're going to put on the egg later. I did not have glue, you know, so I could put this on here. I got these on here with honey. So I'm just telling you, you can use honey or some kind of syrup or something like that. If the paper you're going to be using, is a little bit too hard, then you're going to take this paper and then you're going to place it, rest it on top of the water and let it soak up a little bit of water. That'll make it pliable. That's if you're going to apply it directly to the egg. Probably won't have to though. At this point, you would have been drawing this and you would have cut that up. Once you're done, you're going to take the egg and you're going to start putting that on the inside. You can fill it up for the most part. You're going to take all that, so you can imagine filling that up. Okay, I'm not going to do that because it's going to take a minute. Alright, so we have that. Now you're going to take the 2 spoons, put a rubber band halfway there. Put that right there. Okay, so right now we have our base. You have that, we're pretty much good. Now you're going to take some strips of the kitchen napkins, cut them into long little strips, and then you're going to wrap the first one around. Okay, and you can already see what I was doing. Okay, I took some, once I actually wrapped this thing up, completely wrapped this thing up with this kitchen napkin, I started putting these on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do. So let me see. You want to put one. Let me see. I'm gonna put one across the top. Let's see if I get that on there. Okay. Actually, I probably should have waited because now I'm gonna have to wrap this again. So let me see. I'd already basically did this earlier, so I'm gonna take it. Let me see. You just go around. I'm trying to miss the part that's done up. And do like that. And just start wrapping it. Now, personally, I'm OC. I know I'm a little bit OC because the artist, like, everything has to be straight, everything has to be perfect, everything has to, look a certain way, all that kind of stuff. Now I would say don't trip, like real hard, like I'm probably gonna trip. I'm gonna have to cover that up. Unfortunately, let me take that off. Let me see. I'm gonna put some more right here on the side, so I'm gonna put it over and drape over it. Take some more tape. Just tape that. Okay, we're starting to see how that's coming along. We have to put some more, like across the top of it. Okay. And try to get it on there where it's basically, smooth for the most part. It don't have to be perfect, but, just get it on there. Because you're going to dress it up anyway. right now, it's kind of like we're making a canvas. Put some across the top. I'm going to put some across the top over here. I want to get rid of that gap right there. So I'm going to take some more. Let me see. I'm going to put it right about up there and come around. So I wanted to have that shape. Like I said, I'm a little bit OC. Alright, so let's see, we got that right there. Let's see. Alright, so that part's working. Now, I'm going to lay that down. This is where you're going to have to cut your pieces. Cut this up. And you can cut it and form patterns. Now, again, I don't have glue. And I wasn't going to go to Walmart to get glue. So I'm going to use what you would find in nature. Again, Japanese, when they're out in the woods, they would use stuff like tree sap. I don't have tree sap. I have honey. Honey sticky. Take that, rub it on the back, lay it on there. See what's happening? There you go. These aren't going to last very long anyway. So and you can just dress it up. I mean, you can pretty much imagine at this point what all I'm doing. You know, this bottle here was on its way out. I used this honey to make my tea. Just rub it all on the back. Just put it on there. Try not to get it on the front, you know, because it's going to be sticky. And to be honest with you, it's a lot better. It'll bend around a lot easier if you wet it. Now, if you're using copier paper, it's going to be a lot easier. You know, I'm using a slightly thicker paper, so I had to put some water on it just to get it to loosen up. Okay, so as you can imagine, I can sit here and I can keep going. I can cut those out. And again, you can use paint, crayon, color pencils. You have any kind of dye, whatever, to paint this thing up. But this is what I had, so this is what I'm going to use. Just put that on there, and it's going to hold shape. And I'm gonna cover this whole thing, you know, so you can imagine. I'm just doing just a little bit right now, just to kind of give y'all the idea of how I'm going about this. You know, you can be as creative as you want, you know, and obviously you gotta have two of them. You know, it does no good to just have one. You gotta have two of them. Yeah, like I said, like, be honest with you, you really get into this, you're gonna keep going. And there we go. You know, we have it. I would dress this up down here, or color this bottom part in. Now, to get this, like I said, I'm using a harder paper, so their squares are going to be sticking up. I have to wet them to get the paper to wrap around that shape. So I'm just letting you know, you keep that in mind. But basically this is what you're going to do, and you're going to dress this thing up from top to bottom. You know, if because the thing is white, because this thing is white, you can paint over this thing if you have like a thick paint. If it's a really light paint, like watercolors and stuff like that, it's not going to work. I'm going to tell you straight up. It's going to go through it. It's going to tear the napkin. Other than that, I would say paint the little squares and just put little squares all around it. And I would do the bass as well. So you would have your musical instrument, you know, for Cinco de Mayo. So at least you'll have a little something. And you can add to it and just make it look a little better. Now, I am rushing this right now just because I only have so much time to show y'all this, but this for the most part is it. This is just how you would make one of these, you know, these little maracas, you know. So I mean, once you have it, you know, that's all you would need. Now, let's say you didn't have an egg, because I know that's going to be a bit of an issue. Okay, you don't have an egg. Use foil. Okay, the same process. I'm gonna hate to do it, but let me take this thing apart. You're like, oh my God, I just sat here and spent all that time and I made it. I'm just gonna tear it up. And let me see if I can do this without tearing the egg. Okay. Like I said, probably not gonna tear the egg. The egg is actually pretty strong. Okay, let's go back to this. All right, let's remove the egg. Egg is gone. Okay, let's say you don't have an egg. Maybe your parents don't want you to waste the egg. Okay, use foil. This is just old foil. You see the size of the egg? There's the size of the foil. Put that in its place. Put that in its place. And then take the napkins, go right back around it, and do the exact same thing. Let's say you don't have the spoons, you don't have the foil. Let's say you're don't have the eggs, whatever. Okay, this part here, you can only do what you can. Take some paper. Take that pencil that you had. Move this out the way. You're going to draw it. You know, make it long. Maybe you have the second one in the background. And then create a pattern. I want a very interesting pattern, you know, of some kind. On there, you know, or you put whatever you want on it. You know, you don't want to make an Easter egg. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I can't remember what the Mexican flag looked like, but you know, I know it's an eagle on a cactus. You can sit here and it's an eagle on a cactus. Holding a snake in his mouth. snake that was too slow got caught slipping. Sitting on the cactus. You know, just draw some stuff and make it look interesting. Just have fun with it. So that's the alternative assignment. You can draw it out. But I am going to want some kind of patterns on the egg. Make it festive. You does not have to be like what I'm doing. I am totally making this up. Okay? You can do whatever. I want you to have fun with it. But, you know, I know my eagle and cactus suck right now. I'm just trying to draw just something on here. You should just get the point. Okay, just draw two of the instruments and create a pattern. Submit that, you know, and there you go. I'll give you a grade for it. But if you're going to use one of these, okay, if you're going to use the egg or whatever. Oh, you're probably going to ask, like, okay, how do you make this, okay, get the rice in there and make the sound? Okay, so I'm glad you asked. Here's another one. This one's hollow. Basically, what you would need is the egg, just a whole egg. You need some foil. Take the egg, wrap it. Start out trying to wrap it around the foil. So, and wrap the foil around the egg so you basically get this shape. Okay, leave an opening at the top so you can just slip the egg out. Your parents may not want you to, you know, damage no eggs or whatever. You know, you gotta eat them, you know, and stuff like that. You gotta listen to your parents. You know, take the opening at that point, just fold it in on itself. I'm going to leave a small hole right here. Once you have that small hole, take the rice, put it in there. You will take some tape, come across here, close it up. Or better yet, when you take the cloth, and wrap this thing up, wrap it up to where it's white. Okay, you make noise again. So, and then you go ahead and you start the process like with the egg. Take 2 spoons, put it around here. Take a rubber band, wrap it around here. Then cover this whole thing up with the napkins. Once you cover it up with the napkins, take your drawings. Take your little small square cutouts, and they can be smaller than this. Cover the whole thing up. If you have glue, great. If you don't have glue, okay, use something sticky. Whatever you have that is sticky around the house, use that. You know, just make sure it's not something that's going to be dangerous. But you can use honey if you have molasses, maple syrup, whatever. Just something that's sticky to put on the back of that paper so you can stick it to the napkins that you have wrapped on it, and it will hold. It will hold long enough for you to pretty much get your grade, because all I need you to do is take a picture of your device in your hand and then just submit it, and then I will give you your grade. If you know, if you don't have any of these materials, okay, if you don't have the spoons, if you don't have the foil, you don't have an egg, your parents won't let you use an egg, whatever, okay, you're going to draw it out. You're going to draw it out, and then you're going to color it. I must have 2 of these things. They must have patterns on them. It would be a help if it's something related to Cinco de Mayo. You can write Cinco de Mayo across the top of it. You know, just be festive. Just have fun. But seriously, show this video to your parents and tell them, like, hey, let's just sit down together and make this, you know, do this little project. You know, so it's just a fun. It's just keep it simple. It's just a fun little project. You know, just instead of just cracking your eggs from the side and just throwing away the shells, just tell your parents, like, hey, let's just push a little hole in the top and the bottom. And we keep the egg, and then we can put rice in it or beans or whatever, and you can sit there and do that. You know, we can make these little things. So if you have any questions about this project, this one is, like I said, it's a little more arts and crafty. Just hit me back and I'll explain it. I'll help you out. Again, if you're not even in my class, you know, I'll try to explain, as long as you just hit me up on YouTube. And you know, other than that, I just hope y'all, you know, have a great day, and have a good Cinco de Mayo, and just have fun, you know, have fun doing something, you know, art related with your fam. All right, y'all take it easy.